20th century didn't begin quietly. Cities across Europe were glowing with new electric light. Steel factories roared day and night. And above the quiet fields of Bavaria, fragile flying machines made of wood and wire were struggling to stay in the air. Aviation was barely 10 years old. Yet even then, a few engineers believed the sky would become the future. One of them was a quiet, meticulous mechanic named Karl Rapp. In 1913, on the outskirts of Munich, Rapp opened a small aircraft engine workshop called Rapp Motorenwerke. It wasn't large. It wasn't famous. But inside that workshop lived a powerful idea. Build engines strong enough to carry Germany into the sky. Just a few kilometers away, another aviation pioneer was chasing the same dream. His name was Gustav Otto, the son of Nikolaus Otto, the inventor of the revolutionary four-stroke engine. Without realizing it, Munich was quietly becoming a center for aviation innovation. Then in the summer of 1914, everything changed. The world plunged into World War I, almost overnight. Airplanes transformed from experimental curiosities into weapons of war. Nations that had barely noticed. Small engine workshops were suddenly desperate for powerful, reliable aircraft engines. Orders flooded into Rapp's company. The skies above Europe were turning into battlefields, and the engine inside a fighter plane was no longer just machinery. It was the difference between survival and disaster. But Rapp's engines had a problem. They kept failing. Reliability issues began damaging the company's reputation. Military officials grew frustrated. Investors started losing confidence. The small workshop that had once been built on ambition was now standing dangerously close to collapse. By 1917, the situation reached a breaking point. The company was reorganized. Karl Rapp was forced out, and the firm received a new name, Bayerische Motorenwerke, BMW. Into this newly restructured company stepped a determined engineer and manager named Franz Josef Popp. Popp believed BMW could still become something extraordinary, but only if the company became obsessed with engineering perfection. No shortcuts, no compromises. Every component was re-examined. Every tolerance refined. Every design pushed to its limit. The result was the legendary BMW M3 aircraft engine. Pilots quickly realized this engine was different. At high altitudes, where most engines struggled for oxygen and power, the BMW M3 performed beautifully. It ran smoothly, delivered consistent power, and remained reliable when others began to fail. For a brief moment, BMW looked ready to dominate European aviation. Then history intervened again. On November 11, 1918, the war ended. Germany's defeat brought severe consequences, and one document in particular nearly destroyed the young company before it truly had the chance to grow: the Treaty of Versailles. Among many restrictions, the treaty completely banned Germany from producing aircraft engines. For BMW, the effect was immediate. The factories fell silent. The engineers, who had mastered high-altitude aviation technology, suddenly had nowhere to apply their knowledge. The company faced a brutal choice that every great business eventually encounters: reinvent itself or disappear. BMW chose reinvention. During the early 1920s, the company produced whatever it could to survive: farm equipment, industrial machinery, even household appliances. For engineers who had once built world-class aircraft engines, the work must have felt painfully ordinary. But they kept their factories running. They kept their workforce together. And most importantly, they kept their engineering spirit alive. Then an unexpected opportunity appeared on the ground. Motorcycles were becoming incredibly popular across Europe. They were affordable, fast, and for a generation recovering from the devastation of war, riding one felt like freedom. Yet, most motorcycles of the time were crude machines, loud, rough, often unreliable. BMW engineers saw something familiar in that industry. Just like early aviation, it was a field waiting for someone to do things properly. In 1923, BMW unveiled its first motorcycle at the Berlin Motor Show, the BMW R32. At first glance, it looked unusual. Instead of the standard chain drive system used by most manufacturers, the R32 used a shaft drive that delivered power smoothly to the rear wheel. Its flat twin-cylinder boxer engine placed two pistons opposite each other, creating perfect balance and dramatically reducing vibration. The result was something riders had never experienced before. The R32 was smoother, cleaner, more refined. It wasn't just another motorcycle. It was unmistakably a BMW. The design philosophy behind that motorcycle became part of the company's DNA. Even today, more than a century later, modern BMW motorcycles still carry the same distinctive boxer engine heritage. But success on two wheels sparked a bigger ambition. Cars. By the late 1920s, automobiles were rapidly reshaping society. What had once been luxury machines were becoming essential tools of modern life. BMW's leadership knew that if the company truly wanted to compete with the great engineering firms of Europe, it would eventually need to enter the automobile industry. In 1928, BMW took a bold step. The company acquired Fahrzeugfabrik Eisenach, a small automobile manufacturer with an operational factory and an existing vehicle platform. Soon after, BMW introduced its first car, the BMW 315. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't revolutionary. Based on the British Austin 7 design, the 315 was simple, reliable, and practical. By the extraordinary standards BMW would later achieve, it was a humble beginning. But BMW had never been afraid of humble beginnings. A company that started in a small Munich workshop building aircraft engines, that survived war, industrial bans, and near collapse, had now officially entered the automobile world. And the engineers, who once designed engines for the skies, were about to turn. Their obsession toward the road, what they would build in the coming decades, would transform BMW into one of the most legendary automotive brands on Earth. But the next chapter of their story would also bring the company face to face with one of the darkest periods in modern history. Another world war was approaching, and the decisions made during that time would shape BMW's legacy forever. By the early 1930s, BMW was still a relatively young company, trying to define its place in the rapidly growing automobile industry. Originally known for aircraft engines and later motorcycles, the Bavarian manufacturer had begun shifting its focus toward automobiles. But in a market already dominated by powerful companies like Mercedes-Benz, BMW understood that survival required more than simply building cars. It required creating an identity built around precision, engineering excellence, and performance. That identity began to take shape in 1933 with the introduction of the BMW 303. This car represented a turning point for the company. Not only did it feature BMW's first six-cylinder engine, delivering smoother power and improved performance, but it also introduced the now famous twin-kidney grille design, a distinctive front-end styling that would become one of the most recognizable signatures in the automotive world. The BMW 303 was not just another automobile. It was the moment BMW began to look and feel like the brand the world recognizes today. Only a few years later, in 1936, BMW unveiled a car that would cement its reputation for performance engineering, the legendary BMW 328. Designed for racing but admired for its remarkable reliability, the 328 quickly dominated European motorsport. It achieved international fame after stunning victories in prestigious races such as the Mille Miglia. Combining lightweight construction, aerodynamic design, and advanced engineering, the BMW 328 proved that the young Bavarian company could compete with and defeat among some of the most established automotive brands in the world. By the late 1930s, BMW was no longer just a small manufacturer. It had become a rising force in performance automotive engineering. However, this golden era would not last long. In 1939, the world was plunged into the chaos of World War II. Like many German manufacturers, BMW was forced to redirect its industrial power toward the war effort. The company returned to producing aircraft engines, including powerful aviation units such as the BMW 801, which powered several German military aircraft. During the war years, BMW's factories expanded rapidly to meet the demands of military production. But this expansion came at a dark human cost. Forced laborers from occupied territories were compelled to work in many German industrial facilities, including BMW plants, a difficult and troubling chapter in the company's history that BMW itself later acknowledged. By the end of the war in 1945, the devastation across Germany was immense. Allied bombing raids had destroyed many BMW factories. Machinery was lost and production lines were reduced to rubble. The company that had once dominated racing circuits was left struggling for survival. In the immediate post-war years, BMW was forbidden from producing vehicles and aircraft engines. Instead, the company turned to manufacturing everyday goods such as kitchen utensils, bicycles, and agricultural equipment simply to stay alive. BMW slowly began rebuilding during the late 1940s. In 1948, the company returned to motorcycle production with the BMW R24, a modest but symbolically important machine that helped restore the company's presence in the market. Around the same time, BMW engineers had also developed earlier motorcycle engines such as the BMW M04 engine, which played a key role in the company's early post-war motorcycle development. By 1952, BMW attempted to re-enter the luxury automobile market with the elegant BMW 501, nicknamed the Baroque Angel. The 501 was a beautifully styled luxury sedan with flowing curves and impressive craftsmanship. Unfortunately, the car was extremely expensive to produce. Each vehicle cost more to build than it could be sold for, placing enormous financial pressure on the struggling company. BMW's financial situation worsened further with the introduction of the stunning BMW 507 in 1956, designed as a luxury sports car intended to compete with high-end European roadsters. The BMW 507 became one of the most beautiful cars ever produced. Its sleek proportions and elegant design made it an instant icon admired by collectors and enthusiasts around the world. However, despite its beauty and prestige, the 507 was disastrously expensive to manufacture. BMW lost money on nearly every unit sold, pushing the company deeper into a severe financial crisis during the late 1950s. By 1959, the situation had become so dire that a dramatic possibility emerged. BMW might be sold to Mercedes-Benz. Discussions about a takeover shook the company's employees, shareholders, and loyal supporters. For a moment, it seemed as though BMW's story might end not with triumph, but with absorption into its larger rival. Yet history had one more twist waiting. At the very moment when BMW appeared closest to collapse, the company was on the verge of launching a series of innovative compact vehicles that would completely change its future. Those cars would save the company, restore its independence, and lay the foundation for the modern BMW we know today. And that comeback would soon become one of the most remarkable turnarounds in automotive history. By the end of 1959, BMW was standing at the edge of collapse. The company was facing such a severe financial crisis that its management was prepared to accept a takeover bid from its largest rival, Mercedes-Benz. During a tense shareholder meeting, it genuinely seemed that the story of the Bavarian manufacturer, a company that had survived war, destruction, and rebuilding, was about to come to an end. However, a determined group of small shareholders and loyal dealers refused to accept that fate. They resisted the sale, placing their faith in the company's engineering heritage and its potential for innovation. Inspired by this resistance, a powerful German industrialist named Herbert Quandt made a decision that would change the course of automotive history. Instead of approving the sale, he dramatically increased his own investment, risking a significant portion of his fortune to keep BMW independent. His gamble was not blind optimism. It was based on the promise he saw in a new, compact car prototype that BMW's engineers were quietly developing behind the scenes. The first of these innovative vehicles, and the company's immediate lifeline, was the BMW 700. Introduced in 1959, the 700 was a small, affordable, and surprisingly stylish car that quickly became an instant success. Powered by a modified motorcycle engine mounted at the rear, and designed with sleek Italian styling, the car offered a rare combination of efficiency, character, and sporty personality. It appealed to a broad audience of post-war European drivers who wanted something practical but exciting. Most importantly, the BMW 700 sold in large numbers. Those strong sales generated the crucial cash flow BMW desperately needed, stabilizing the company's finances and restoring confidence among investors, employees, and customers alike. While the 700 effectively kept the company alive during its most fragile moment, it was only the beginning of a much larger transformation. Using the momentum created by the success of the 700, BMW made a bold decision to invest in an entirely new concept that would redefine the company's future. This new direction became known as the BMW Neue Klasse, meaning the new class. It was not just a single car but an entirely new family of vehicles designed to establish a completely new segment in the automotive world. BMW's vision was ambitious: create a car that was compact and practical enough for everyday life, yet engineered with the performance, precision, and driving excitement usually reserved for sports cars. The first model in this revolutionary lineup, the BMW 1500, was unveiled at the 1961 Frankfurt Motor Show. It immediately captured the attention of the automotive world and effectively marked the birth of the modern sports sedan, a car that could comfortably carry a family while still delivering the thrilling driving dynamics BMW engineers believed every car should possess. The Neue Klasse cars were revolutionary in both engineering and philosophy. At their heart was the legendary BMW M10 engine, a powerful and incredibly durable four-cylinder engine that would serve as the backbone of BMW's engine lineup for more than 2 decades. Equally important was the advanced independent suspension system, which delivered a level of handling, precision, and road-holding ability that many competitors simply could not match. Drivers immediately noticed the difference. BMW cars were not just transportation machines, they were designed to be driven and enjoyed. Combined with clean, modern styling and an elegant interpretation of the brand's signature kidney grille, the Neue Klasse cars perfectly captured BMW's emerging philosophy of performance and refinement. The success of the BMW 1500 soon led to the arrival of additional models such as the 1600, 1800, and 2000, each strengthening BMW's growing reputation in the global automotive market. In the end, it was this remarkable series of compact yet sophisticated vehicles that orchestrated one of the most extraordinary recoveries in automotive history. The BMW 700 had provided the company with its urgent rescue, buying precious time when bankruptcy seemed inevitable. But the Neue Klasse did something even more important. It reshaped BMW's destiny. It redefined the company's identity around engineering excellence, balanced performance, and driver-focused design. What began as a desperate effort to survive ultimately became the foundation of the modern BMW philosophy. The idea that every car should deliver not just transportation, but a truly engaging driving experience. From that moment forward, BMW was no longer a struggling manufacturer fighting to stay alive. It had become the brand that the world would soon recognize as the maker of the ultimate driving machine. By the beginning of the 1960s, the global automobile industry was entering a new era of innovation and competition. Across Europe, manufacturers were experimenting with new technologies, improved designs, and more powerful engines. The post-war economy was growing rapidly, and millions of people were buying cars for the first time. During this period, BMW began redefining its identity as an automobile manufacturer. The company had already proven its engineering capabilities through motorcycles and earlier sports cars, but now it was preparing to create a new generation of vehicles that would establish its reputation as one of the world's leading performance brands. BMW engineers believed that the future of the automobile was not just about transportation. It was about driving experience. Their goal was to design cars that combined precise handling, strong performance, and elegant design. This vision would soon give birth to some of the most influential vehicles in automotive history. One of the early steps in this transformation was the introduction of the BMW 700. The compact car surprised many observers by becoming a strong commercial success. With its lightweight design and efficient engineering, the BMW 700 demonstrated that small cars could still deliver engaging driving dynamics. More importantly, it proved that BMW's engineers understood how to build vehicles that balanced practicality with performance. Encouraged by this success, BMW began developing a completely new line of vehicles that would ultimately reshape the company's future. In 1962, BMW introduced a revolutionary lineup known as the New Class or Neue Klasse. These vehicles were designed as modern sports sedans that combined powerful engines with precise handling and comfortable interiors. The New Class represented a dramatic departure from earlier BMW designs and introduced a new design language that would influence the company's vehicles for decades. Among the most important models of this era was the BMW 1500. The car featured a modern body design, independent suspension, and a powerful four-cylinder engine that delivered impressive performance for its time. Drivers quickly discovered that the new class cars offered something unique. They were practical enough for everyday driving, yet exciting enough to deliver genuine performance. This combination became the foundation of BMW's famous identity as the ultimate driving machine. As the new class lineup expanded, BMW introduced several variations, including the 1600, 1800, and 2000 models. Each new version improved upon the previous one with stronger engines, refined suspension systems, and more advanced engineering. But one car from this era would become a true icon. In 1968, BMW introduced the legendary BMW 2002. The BMW 2002 was small, lightweight, and incredibly responsive. Powered by a strong engine and paired with precise steering, the car delivered a driving experience that few vehicles of its size could match. Automotive journalists and enthusiasts quickly fell in love with the BMW 2002. It was fast, agile, and surprisingly practical. Drivers could enjoy thrilling performance while still using the car for everyday transportation. The success of the 2002 helped establish BMW as a manufacturer of driver-focused vehicles. Throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, BMW continued expanding its lineup. Engineers focused on improving engine technology, refining suspension systems, and introducing more advanced safety features. During this period, BMW also began strengthening its presence in international markets. The company expanded exports to the United States and other regions where drivers were beginning to appreciate European sports sedans. The American market in particular proved extremely important. Drivers in the United States were drawn to BMW's combination of performance, luxury, and engineering precision. The success of BMW vehicles in this market helped elevate the company's global reputation. Another major milestone arrived in 1972 with the creation of BMW's dedicated motorsport division, known as BMW M. The M division was established to develop high-performance versions of BMW vehicles and to oversee the company's racing activities. The engineers within BMW M focused on pushing the limits of automotive performance, experimenting with powerful engines, lightweight materials, and advanced aerodynamic designs. The division quickly became one of the most respected performance engineering teams in the automotive world. One of the first major projects from BMW M was the creation of the BMW 3.0 CSL, a lightweight racing machine designed for touring car competitions. The vehicle achieved tremendous success in European motorsport, winning multiple championships and further strengthening BMW's reputation as a performance brand. Around the same time, BMW introduced another major innovation, the creation of structured model series that would organize its growing lineup of vehicles. In 1975, the company introduced one of its most important vehicles ever, the BMW 3 Series. The 3 Series was designed as a compact luxury sports sedan that captured everything BMW stood for: performance, precision engineering, and driver engagement. It quickly became one of the company's most successful vehicles and remains one of the best-selling luxury cars in the world even today. 2 years later, in 1977, BMW introduced the flagship BMW 7 Series. The 7 Series represented BMW's entry into the full-size luxury sedan market. Designed with advanced technology, powerful engines, and premium materials, the vehicle demonstrated that BMW could compete with the most prestigious luxury brands in the world. The introduction of the 7 Series expanded BMW's image beyond performance alone. The company was now recognized as a manufacturer capable of combining luxury, innovation, and driving excitement in a single vehicle. By the end of the 1970s, BMW had successfully transformed itself. What had once been a struggling aircraft engine manufacturer had now become one of the most respected automotive companies in the world. Its vehicles were admired for their precision engineering, their elegant design, and their unique ability to deliver a thrilling driving experience. The foundation of BMW's modern identity had been established, but the decades ahead would bring even greater innovation, faster cars, and technological breakthroughs that would push the boundaries of automotive performance. The next chapter in BMW's story would introduce a new generation of high-performance machines, vehicles, that would become legends among enthusiasts and redefine what a sports sedan could be. And at the center of that revolution would be a name that would soon become famous around the world: the BMW M series. By the beginning of the 1980s, BMW had already established itself as a manufacturer of precision-engineered automobiles. The success of earlier vehicles had created a strong foundation, but what came next would elevate BMW into one of the most respected automotive brands in the world. The next 2 decades would be defined by rapid technological progress, bold engineering decisions, and the birth of performance machines that enthusiasts still admire today. During this period, BMW refined its model lineup into clearly defined vehicle series, each representing a specific level of performance, luxury, and driving experience. Among these series, 3 in particular would shape the company's global identity: the 3 Series, the 5 Series, and the high-performance machines created by the engineers of BMW M. The first generation of the 3 Series, known as the E91, was introduced as the successor to the famous BMW 2002. This car carried forward the philosophy of a compact sports sedan, designed for drivers who valued performance and precision. The E21 lineup included several variants such as the 316, 318, 320, and 323i. These models offered a range of engine options, allowing customers to choose between efficiency and performance. The 323i, in particular, became popular among enthusiasts because of its 6-cylinder engine and sporty handling. With its balanced chassis and responsive steering, the E21 established the driving character that would define BMW vehicles for decades. The next evolution of the 3 Series arrived in 1982 with the E30 generation, and this model would become one of the most beloved BMW platforms ever produced. The E30 lineup expanded significantly and included models such as 316, 318i, 325i, and 325e. For the first time, BMW also introduced all-wheel drive to the 3 Series with the 325iX, offering improved traction in difficult driving conditions. The E30 also introduced convertible and touring versions, making the 3 Series more versatile than ever before. But the true legend of the E30 era was the extraordinary BMW M3. Originally developed for racing homologation, the E30 M3 featured a high-revving 4-cylinder engine, wider body panels, and improved aerodynamics. The car quickly became a dominant force in touring car racing, winning championships across Europe and establishing BMW as a motorsport powerhouse. Even decades later, the E30 M3 is still considered one of the greatest performance cars ever built. While the 3 Series dominated the compact luxury segment, the BMW 5 Series became the company's flagship executive sedan for professionals and business leaders. The E28 generation, introduced in the early 1980s, brought advanced engine technology, improved suspension, and enhanced comfort features. Models such as 518i, 530i, and 528i became popular across Europe and international markets. During this era, BMW introduced the very first M5, the powerful BMW M5. The idea behind the M5 was revolutionary. BMW engineers wanted to build a luxury sedan that could perform like a race car while maintaining everyday practicality. Powered by an engine derived from BMW's motorsport program, the early M5 models quickly became some of the fastest 4-door sedans in the world. This concept effectively created the category known today as the super sedan, proving that a luxury executive vehicle could also deliver extraordinary performance. The next generation of the 5 Series, the E34, arrived toward the end of the 1980s and continued BMW's pursuit of engineering excellence. The lineup expanded to include models such as 518i, 530i, Oman Sanderwehr, Ben Sanderwehr, and 540i. These cars introduced improved aerodynamics, stronger chassis construction, and more sophisticated electronic systems. Drivers appreciated the refined balance between comfort and performance that the E34 delivered. The E34 version of the M5 carried forward BMW's high-performance legacy. With a powerful engine and carefully tuned suspension, The vehicle became one of the most respected performance sedans of the 1990s. It demonstrated that BMW's motorsport knowledge could successfully translate into everyday road cars. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, the engineers at BMW M continued pushing the limits of performance engineering. Their goal was not simply to build faster cars, but to create machines that delivered a perfectly balanced driving experience. In addition to the M3 and M5, BMW introduced other performance-focused models, including the powerful M6, which brought motorsport-inspired engineering to a luxury grand touring platform. These vehicles were equipped with upgraded engines, advanced suspension systems, stronger braking systems, and distinctive aerodynamic styling. The M badge soon became one of the most respected symbols in the automotive world. For enthusiasts, a BMW carrying the M emblem represented the ultimate expression of the brand's engineering philosophy. While BMW's engineers were busy building performance legends, the company's leadership was also expanding its global presence. During the 1980s and 1990s, BMW dramatically increased exports to international markets. The United States quickly became one of the company's most important regions. American drivers were drawn to BMW vehicles because they offered a unique combination of European luxury, advanced engineering, and engaging driving dynamics. BMW's marketing strategy during this era reinforced its identity with a slogan that became famous worldwide: the ultimate driving machine. This phrase perfectly captured the company's commitment to building cars designed for people who truly love driving. The company also invested heavily in expanding its production capabilities. One of the most significant developments was the construction of BMW's major manufacturing plant in South Carolina, which allowed the company to produce vehicles closer to the American market. In 1994, BMW made another strategic move by acquiring the British automotive group Rover, a decision that demonstrated the company's ambition to become a truly global automotive powerhouse. By the end of the 1990s, BMW had completely transformed itself. What had once begun decades earlier as a small aircraft engine manufacturer had evolved into one of the most respected automotive companies in the world. The 3 Series had become one of the best-selling luxury cars globally. The 5 Series had established itself as a benchmark for executive sedans, and the legendary machines, produced by BMW's M division, had become icons among performance enthusiasts. As the 20th century came to a close, BMW stood at the edge of a new era. The upcoming years would bring luxury SUVs, revolutionary technology, and an entirely new generation of vehicles that would once again reshape the future of the company. BMW was preparing to enter the new millennium, and the next chapter of its story would be even more transformative than the last. By the year 2000, BMW had already established itself as a global symbol of engineering precision, luxury, and performance. Vehicles like the BMW 3 Series, BMW 5 Series, and the legendary BMW M3 had created a loyal following of enthusiasts around the world. Yet the arrival of the new millennium demanded that BMW evolve once again, not merely as a manufacturer of sports sedans, but as a complete luxury automotive brand, capable of competing in nearly every segment of the market, from compact performance cars to powerful SUVs and even ultra-luxury vehicles. The first major pillar of BMW's success in the early 2000s was the BMW E46 3 Series. Introduced in 1998 and continuing strongly into the new millennium, the E46 became one of the most beloved BMW generations ever produced. Every variant, 316i, 305i, 310i, 303i, 330i, 330i, 330c, and the track-inspired BMW E46 M3 followed a clear philosophy: driver engagement above all else, with precise steering, balanced suspension, and engines ranging from efficient 4 cylinders to high-revving inline-6 units. The E46 perfectly blended daily usability with motorsport-inspired performance. This generation cemented the 3 Series as the benchmark for the compact executive segment. At the same time, BMW's executive sedan lineup continued to evolve through the BMW E39 5 Series and later the BMW E65 Series. Models such as the 520i, Y40 or Y30, Y30c, and 540i delivered a refined balance of luxury and performance that appealed to professionals and enthusiasts alike. The E39 in particular became widely regarded as one of the finest sedans ever built, thanks to its aluminum suspension components, precise handling, and durable inline-six engines. At the top of the lineup stood the legendary BMW E39 M5, powered by the powerful S62 V8 engine. It delivered supercar-level performance while maintaining everyday practicality, earning global recognition as one of the world's first truly usable super sedans.
While the 5 Series dominated the executive segment,
BMW's flagship luxury sedan continued to push technological boundaries. In 2001, the company introduced the BMW E65 7 Series, a vehicle that redefined the luxury driving experience. Equipped with innovations such as the BMW iDrive, advanced electronics, and cutting-edge comfort features, the 7 Series demonstrated BMW's commitment to combining technology, luxury, and performance in a single flagship model. However, BMW understood that the global automotive market was changing. Demand for luxury SUVs was growing rapidly, particularly in markets such as the United States and the Middle East. Recognizing this opportunity, BMW introduced its first sports activity vehicle in 1999, the BMW X5. Unlike traditional SUVs, the X5 combined the commanding presence and practicality of an off-road vehicle with the driving dynamics of a BMW sports sedan. The result was an immediate success. Later, BMW expanded this concept even further with the introduction of the BMW X6, a bold design that blended SUV capability with coupe-like styling and performance. This innovative concept created an entirely new market segment that many competitors would soon attempt to replicate. Meanwhile, BMW's performance division continued to raise the bar. The BMW M introduced some of the most exciting performance cars of the era. Models such as the BMW M6, BMW M3 CSL, and the powerful BMW E60 M5 demonstrated the brand's commitment to motorsport engineering. The E60 M5 in particular stood out with its Formula One-inspired V10 engine, delivering an exhilarating driving experience that combined immense power with precision handling. The lightweight M3 CSL, built with carbon fiber components and track-focused engineering, quickly became a legend among performance enthusiasts. BMW's expansion during this period was not limited to its own brand. Strategic acquisitions strengthened its global influence. The company took full control of Mini, successfully reviving the iconic British brand for a modern audience. At the same time, BMW secured the rights to Rolls-Royce motor cars, allowing it to compete directly in the ultra-luxury automotive segment. These moves positioned BMW as a powerful force across multiple tiers of the global automotive market, from compact premium vehicles to the highest levels of automotive luxury. Technological innovation also played a major role in BMW's growth throughout this era. Engines became more efficient while maintaining the brand's signature performance characteristics. Safety systems advanced rapidly, and new features such as adaptive suspension, advanced navigation systems, and modern infotainment technologies became integral parts of BMW vehicles. At the same time, the company began exploring electrification and alternative mobility solutions, laying the foundation for the future BMW i Series with groundbreaking vehicles such as the BMW i3 and the futuristic BMW i8. By 2015, BMW had transformed itself into far more than a traditional automobile manufacturer. It had become a global icon of performance, luxury, and innovation. Every 3 Series, 5 Series, 7 Series, X Series SUV, and M performance vehicle produced during this era reflected a philosophy refined over decades. A car should do more than simply transport its driver. It should engage, inspire, and deliver emotion. The period from 2000 to 2015 therefore represented a defining chapter in BMW's history. It was an era not only of new models and expanding markets, but also of identity, an era in which BMW firmly established itself as a complete luxury performance brand, capable of blending tradition with cutting-edge innovation. From its early beginnings, building aircraft engines, to becoming a global leader in performance engineering, BMW's journey had been extraordinary. By the middle of the 2010s, the brand had evolved into something truly remarkable, a company that combined heritage, technology, luxury, and driving passion in a way that few automotive manufacturers in the world could match. By 2016, BMW had already established itself as a global powerhouse in automotive engineering, performance, and luxury. The brand had evolved from compact sedans and sports cars into a full-spectrum manufacturer, offering everything from executive sedans to SUVs and ultra-luxury vehicles. Yet the challenge of the 21st century demanded even more: electrification, digital innovation, sustainability, and continued performance excellence. Over the next decade, BMW would demonstrate that its legacy was not just in history, but in shaping the future of mobility. The 3 Series, BMW's compact executive car, continued to dominate the global market. By the 2010s, the F30 generation had become the centerpiece of BMW's lineup. Available in numerous variants, 316i, 340i, 340i, and the performance-oriented 3. The F30 combined lightweight construction, turbocharged engines, and advanced driver assistance systems. The M3 of this generation featured a high-revving 6-cylinder engine producing over 430 horsepower, paired with precision-tuned suspension and cutting-edge electronics, delivering the exhilarating driving experience BMW was renowned for. The 5 Series evolved with the F10 and later G30 generations, from models such as the 520i, and 550i. BMW offered a balance of comfort, technology, and performance. The F10 M5, powered by a twin-turbo V8 engine producing over 560 horsepower, was celebrated worldwide as one of the fastest, most refined executive sedans ever produced. Innovations like adaptive suspension, intelligent all-wheel drive, and advanced infotainment systems elevated the 5 Series to a new standard in its segment. BMW's flagship, the 7 Series, entered its 6th generation with the G11, G12 models. These vehicles combined ultimate luxury with cutting-edge technology. Features like carbon fiber reinforced construction, adaptive air suspension, gesture-controlled iDrive, and semi-autonomous driving capabilities demonstrated BMW's commitment to innovation while maintaining the driving pleasure that defined the brand. The M division continued to produce performance icons. The M3 F80, M4, M5 F10 and F90, and M6 offered incredible power, precision, and handling. The M4, with its lightweight body and high-revving engine, became the ultimate sports coupe, while the M5 F90 combined luxury, performance, and usability in a 4-door sedan. Every M model produced during this period exemplified BMW's philosophy: performance engineered for real-world driving without compromise. BMW's SUV lineup expanded rapidly in this era, responding to growing global demand. The X Series included the X1, X3, X4, X5, X6, and X7, with each model offering BMW's signature driving dynamics in increasingly versatile packages. The X5 and X6 became especially popular in North America, combining performance, luxury, and utility in a way that few other brands could match. Electrification became a defining trend for BMW during this period. The company introduced the I-Series, including the fully electric i3 and the plug-in hybrid i8. These vehicles represented BMW's commitment to sustainable performance, blending electric technology with the driving pleasure that had always defined the brand. The i8, with its futuristic design and hybrid powertrain, producing over 350 horsepower, became an icon of performance and innovation. Global expansion also continued. BMW strengthened its presence in Asia, the Middle East, and the Americas, while production facilities in China, the US, and Europe allowed the company to meet growing demand efficiently. Acquisitions and partnerships, most notably, Mini and Rolls-Royce solidified BMW's position across the full spectrum of automotive luxury. By 2020, BMW had fully embraced a future-oriented strategy. The company invested heavily in autonomous driving technology, connected car systems, and electrification, preparing for the rapidly changing automotive landscape. Even amid global challenges, BMW remained committed to its core values: precision engineering, driving pleasure, and innovation. The period from 2016 to 2026 also saw continued refinement of legendary models. Every new generation of the 3 Series, 5 Series, 7 Series, X Series, And M vehicles incorporated advanced technology, sustainability measures, and luxury enhancements, ensuring that BMW's performance heritage remained intact. Electric and hybrid variants complemented traditional combustion engines, allowing BMW to remain competitive in a world increasingly focused on clean energy. By 2026, BMW had become more than just a car manufacturer. It was a global leader in performance, luxury, and sustainable mobility. Its vehicles appealed to enthusiasts and executives alike, delivering excitement, prestige, and technological sophistication. From the smallest 3 Series to the flagship 7 Series, from the legendary M cars to the revolutionary I Series, BMW had achieved something remarkable. It had remained faithful to its heritage while boldly embracing the future. The story of BMW, spanning over a century, reflects a company that continually evolved, innovated, and inspired. From aircraft engines to motorcycles, from compact sedans to luxury SUVs, and from internal combustion to electric propulsion, BMW has consistently embodied performance, engineering excellence, and driving passion. And as it moves forward beyond 2026, the brand stands ready to define the next era of automotive innovation, blending history, technology, and emotion in every car it creates. Today, I want to share my favorite BMW cars with you. My first pick is the 3 Series M3 E92, an absolute masterpiece in style and performance. Next on my list is the 5 Series M5 CS, and I also really love the 5 Series E39 M5 and E46 M5. And finally, my favorite of the newer generation is the M4 competition, F80. Now I want to hear from you, what are your favorite BMWs? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed our documentary, don't forget to like and subscribe.